All right, from the titles to the lyrical content to the instrumentation even, Trap God is everything that I like about hip-hop and rap. So for a while I've been wanting to go through and talk about how the album came to be and exists as it does now and lives on Spotify and Apple Music. Also, if you stick around for the rest of the video, there's a little snippet of a track I'm working on called Sturdy. Originally, Trap God wasn't going to be a concept album or even a full story. The original thought was to make a bunch of goofy songs, shoot some dumb music videos for them. Putting punchlines and jokes in rap is not new. You hear Weird Al songs, I'll Sue Ya, Fat, My Pancreas, Amish Paradise. Like, those songs are all funny. Once you've heard them once, the joke's been made, it loses any appeal you have to listen to it over the original song. No one listens to funny music. So I think it became clear to me that I couldn't just make a funny thing that would be like good for a one-off joke. All of my favorite art is stuff that I can come back to and get more out of. Movies that you can watch again and again and get something new out of it every time. And I didn't want to make something that didn't feel genuine to what I like and what I want to hear. As I started to dive into music production and learn how to produce and engineer and mix, my ambition for the project grew a lot. Pretty early on, I knew that I wanted the album to be a perfect circle. Even down to the effects that I chose to use was all with the intention of having a perfectly looping album that tells a full story and circles back on itself. I had never made music before this entire album. I'd never recorded myself, engineered myself, mixed anything, produced anything. This album is my first project. Coming from a world of video and film and sketches, I was very used to writing scripts. The entirety of Trap God is written out like a movie script. So it became incredibly tricky at times to figure out, well, I can't see that action. What does that sound like? The format of these skits and sketches are why I've even started to get good at all at mixing and understand space and where things are in conjunction with other things. Before I ever had anyone else's voices on the album, I recorded every skit with just my voice. And I would pitch it up for the nurse and I would pitch it down for the doctor. I built out every single skit just like that. It allowed me to test out jokes and it allowed me to test out the timing of things. At times it almost seemed easier if I were to just literally shoot this short film and get everyone in the same room and actually record it. The first track off the album, Wake Up Mr. Boy, is obviously a reference to Kanye West, Late Registration, the first track on his album, Wake Up Mr. West.
What you got nothing to do? You think this shit easy? No, in my class. Mr. West! Mr. West! Mr. West!
As the album kind of grew in scope, it really became apparent to me that it was going to be a mixture of skits and songs, and finding a way to blend in between those throughout the course of the story that I'm trying to tell. Wake Up Mr. West, Into Heard Him Say, it just is exactly that. It may be the first obvious reference and homage to something I love in hip-hop and rap.
Mr. Boy? Doctor! Doctor!
Whoa, easy there, big guy.
It's not my fucking name.
Right. Sorry. Big boy.
Something else I remember being a total pain in the ass. I wanted some kind of pillar for the listener to grab onto, considering you can't see that you're in a hospital, so that you knew where you were at and what was going on. The way that I kind of figured that out was by having the heartbeat monitor just going off. What a pain in the ass that was, and a fucking dumb idea. It fulfills its purpose, but the problem was that I literally had to program in every single one of those heartbeats according to when my heart rate goes faster or not. Every time you hear the heartbeat monitor, you know you're back in the hospital. It's always kind of in the same area, off in the corner of the room here. Generally, the doctor's always on your right side. Other voices that are in the room usually are on the left. Me, as the little big boy, is always centered up. Those general audio ideas, when you're listening in headphones, make for a really clear understanding of what's going on and where things are at. I'd never worked with Fiona on anything before this, and when I reached out to her, we FaceTimed, and I basically caught her up to speed on this project that I was trying to make. and she wasn't in town when I reached out to her about recording any of this, so I had to have her record it on her own microphone setup. I still had to go through and mix her mic to sound similar to my mic, make it all feel like this was recorded in the same room as if we'd filmed it. I think I gave her some of the weirdest direction you could give someone. The way I envisioned the nurse in the way that she would talk and act throughout the course of this album was like a 1940s Lucille Ball, kind of ditzy, almost like porn starry quality to like the voice acting. Ultimately, I think all of the struggles that I went through in trying to mix these skits really helped me understand mixing my music better. The way that Bernard got roped into being the voice of the Doctor on my album, me and Zach were taking Bernard out to go get PSLs with the boys. Yeah, the Trap God drinks pumpkin spice lattes. Zach and I were talking about the album and all these ideas we had for it. Bernard asked us a little bit about it, and I think it just kind of clicked and made sense. And I was like, wait, Bernard, you have like a really interesting voice. Why don't you just be the Doctor on the album? Luckily, he was just down and was like, yeah, count me in, I guess. So working with Bernard, it was a lot of back and forth over the course of this afternoon, recording all of his lines of dialogue. And because I had already recorded all of the skits, I was able to just play them back for him, and he could hear more or less the energy and the timing of what I wanted him to do. I think without being open to the collaborative nature of working with other people, there's no way Trap God would even be remotely complete, even today. People aren't robots. You can't just make them say exactly the thing you want in the way that you want them to say it without some kind of give and take on what they think their character would do, what they think their character would say. And I couldn't imagine any two other people playing the nurse and the Doctor on this. So shout out to Fiona and Bernard for lending your voices to this weird fucking project. I hope this was fun to watch, and I look forward to talking more about the music and the rest of the tracks. Also, here's a little snippet of a song I'm working on called Sturdy.
I keep it sturdy. Watch how I move when I'm curving these snakes. They try to do me dirty, but I came out clean once again, just like dishes when Dawn hit the plate. Yeah, I know I'm perfect, that's why she asked to insert it. Hitting me back for one purpose. She say I own it like I made the purchase, but she kinda holding back like she a virgin. I'm O-double-T with the stick.